All right, you guys, we're going to get started. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer. 6:05. I want to give everybody a chance to get on in. We start officially at 6. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody that is on. For those that are on right now, hopefully you guys had an amazing day. For those that are catching the replay, I hope you have an amazing day as well, regardless of what day it is, right? But we're going to get started. For you guys that are brand new, my name is Aaron Forex Scott, aka Scotty Pippen. I will be your host for tonight. We're going to go over some setups utilizing our perfect entry trading system, how you can get optimal entries using this pet system, regardless of what you're trading, whether it's Forex or indices. We have tools that will help you find the best setups with low risk, high reward. We was on a live session yesterday, and some of the trades that we looked over yesterday gave us exactly what we needed. We're going to focus solely on 10 pips, being that we're using this session to trade live. We don't want to hold you guys long. We're not expecting to sit here for hours and hours, even though I can with you guys. I have no problem with doing that, right? But the main goal is to get you guys in the market, get you guys out of the market. So we're going to utilize certain scalping strategies based off of the 1 minute chart, 3 minute chart, 5 minute chart, sometimes even down to the 5-second chart, utilizing this tool. That way we can get our 10 pips and get on out the game, right? But we had setups yesterday. We're going to go ahead and pull up the chart. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's pull up the chart. Hopefully you guys can see my screen. We're going to pull up the chart. Yesterday, we went over some trades. Who was with us yesterday? If you can, and you can say it in the chat. Yesterday, we caught some trades based off of the GPY crossovers. It was NZD JPY, GBP JPY, Euro JPY, USD JPY, CAD JPY, all of the JPY crosses. Gave us a setup on the 1 minute chart and gave us at least 10 pips. I believe it went up to 40 pips on the first run. And then as we were closing, let's pull it up real quick. As we were closing, I'll pull up one of them. This was the trade yesterday. As we were closing the session, I had noticed that we had a pullback, right? And I've been telling the people that are utilizing this tool that a lot of the times you can catch re-entries based off of the zone. The ultimate goal, when you're trading Forex in any strategy or any tool that you're using, the ultimate goal, if you're selling the market, you want to be able to sell and make profit. Therefore, you want to sell at the highest point possible. So the goal is to find price at a point to where you're able to sell with low risk and high reward. This was the sale that we caught yesterday on the Zoom, on the trade call, right? Well, we saw it yesterday as I was teaching about this tool. We saw this trade. Now, this is our zone right here. This little blue box that you see is our zone. These zones are very, very important. They change throughout the sessions. They change throughout the day or throughout the week, I would say. But these zones are very important. So notice what happened when we caught the first sale. If I zoom in a little bit. We caught this first sale here on the training call. And as we caught it, it went down. Let's see how many. This is Euro JPY from the entry. Now notice here, if you're brand new, this blue box is the zone that we're paying attention to. So if you're selling, this tool will tell you to sell. It will give you your take profit 1, 2, and 3. And it'll also give you your stop loss, right? So if you're selling the market, where do you want to sell it at? You want to sell it at the highest point available. Your highest points available is the zone. So it may come and retest as it did here. Just as we were saying right before the Zoom closed, this was the retest of our zone, and I was expecting to sell. If it comes into the zone and it comes to the top of the zone, it may break above the zone and give you a buy. We don't necessarily know what the market is going to do, but in a lot of cases, you will catch the retest from the high of the zone, which will give you a low risk to high reward. If you're selling from the market from the bottom of the zone, ultimately your stop losses on average 30 to 40 pips. But if you're able to sell it from the high of the zone, if we're selling from here and then it pulls back to the high of the zone, your stop loss is now 10 pips. So what we do is, hopefully you guys are anticipating either you're on your way getting funded, you're already funded, or you're thinking about getting funded, just trying to find the best way to go about it. The main goal is to utilize proper risk management. So for instance, we're going to use a $100,000 account. $100,000 account, and if you're risking only 1%, which is proper risk management, this tool is a position size calculator. You can look it up on Google. This one is from babypips.com. You can go under the tool section and you will see position size calculator. But you want to utilize this on every single trade to make sure that you are utilizing proper risk management. As long as you follow proper risk management and discipline and utilizing the tools that we're going to show you today, or the signals, because the signals come from the tool as well. As long as you do this, you should be able to have a good chance of passing your funded account challenge, getting your $100,000 account, and consistently winning on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. So if you're utilizing this tool, and we had a 10 pip stop loss on a $100,000 account, risking 1%, you can utilize a standard lot size of 10. It may sound crazy, but it looks abnormal because normal people don't trade with $100,000 in their account. A lot of us started off with $100, $1,000, or something like that. So seeing a standard lot size of 10 may push you back a little bit, but I need you to understand, if you're using a high account balance like $100,000 and you're risking only 1% for this trade, and if it was to lose, you're going to lose 10 pips, you can still trade a standard lot size of 10, which is $100 a pip, and all you're looking for is 10 pips. So if you was to actually hit your take profit, you will earn $1,000 for the day or for the trade. And if you earn $1,000 on a trade or per day, you can consider yourself done. So hopefully during the session, I got my screens on. I got a few pairs that's pulled up already. If we can get a break, we're not going to force anything, but if we do get a clean break and we get an actual signal, we can either test it on demo. You guys can just watch it on demo, see how it works. We're going to go over it as it's moving. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to also teach you and show you the power of our system that we have on TradingView that we're utilizing for the signal. So notice, like I said earlier, we put this sale on Euro JPY. This was yesterday during the live session. Not only Euro JPY, all of the JPY pairs, Euro JPY, GBP JPY, USD JPY, NZD JPY, and CAD JPY gave us our 10 pips during the session. And then before the session was over, it pulled back and gave us another 30 pips, right? Guess what happened after that? This was about 30 pips. Oh, actually, it was about 70 pips. 70 pips, right? Guess what happened after that? Look at that retest. Look at that retest. So not only did you get one entry from the initial sale, gave you 30 pips, you got your second entry that gave you 60 pips, and then it turned around and gave you another. Look at that retest. I hope you guys are understanding the power of this zone, because if this zone was not here, if I had took this off the chart, a lot of people would have saw this movement up here, right here, and they would have started buying. People are buying. They're buying. Retail traders are buying at the high for some reason. We, as retail traders, we're understanding now, in order to trade with the smart money, we want to trade like them. We don't want to sell at the high. We don't want to buy up here. It's a better opportunity to sell from the high than to buy from the high. So notice when we turn the lights back on, we know not to buy up here because we're selling. We were selling the entire time. So why are we looking for buy opportunities? This is another sell opportunity that gave you another 100 pips to the downside. That's probably more than 100 pips. Let's count it out. Let's see real quick. That was an easy trade. That's 200 pips. Do you guys see that? For those that was with us anyway yesterday, hopefully you guys saw that, because we definitely caught this trade. We caught the initial sell. Right before we got off, I told us that we should look out for the initial sell on the retest. That's exactly what happened. And it pulled back and gave us an official entry probably around London session and ran for 200 pips. Not only did it do it on Euro JPY, let's briefly scan. As Euro JPY. Notice here we have a zone now. Our zone is being created now. So we're just going to wait for the break to see. And this is on the minute chart, by the way, you guys. We caught these setups on the minute chart for those that are new, right? But let's scan. Let's go to the other one. GJ. GJ did something similar. Whoa, GJ. GJ did the same thing. We caught the sell, came back to retest, dropped 200 pips. Lord have mercy. 140 pips. All right, came back to the zone again, dropped another 150 pips. Hope you guys are seeing this zone, why this zone is so, let's get rid of these lines. That was from yesterday. Why the zone is so important. That's GJ. Let's go to UJ. UJ did the same thing. I believe he did anyway. UJ, here goes UJ. There's that initial sale. This is the pullback that we saw right before the Zoom finished yesterday. And look at the retest at the bottom of the zone and gave us 100 pips. Not only that, it came back again. Wasn't quite a retest, but it still was a potential entry for another 100 pips. Notice UJ is forming as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a brief scan for those that are wanting to use the signals. Our signals are based off of the session key tool that we have and the golden key tool. It is more conservative, being that we're on a higher time frame. It is a more conservative trade. Just to make sure we're not getting caught up in no traps, anything like that, we're sending out the signals on the hour chart, right? But if you wanted to scalp, like I said, we're going to show you how to do this in real time. So notice the sell we caught on, we're just going to scan so you guys can see the power of the signals that are going to be coming in as well. Notice the sales where it's telling you to sell, and notice if it went into profit or not coming from our zone. This is the sell that came in on Euro USD. There goes that optimal entry from the top of the zone. Where do you want to sell from? The top of the zone. So let's briefly go through this one real quick. Let's scan through. Let's go to the 3-minute chart. Go to the 3-minute chart so you guys can see the power of these optimal entries, because you can sell, but where again do you want to sell from? You want to sell from the highest price possible. So it's telling you to sell. It told you to sell. You're in seller's territory. You're in profit about 20 pips off the sale, right? If you didn't catch the sale, where should we sell at again? You're going to see this a lot from back testing. For those that get the tool, you're going to see this a lot in the back testing that we do in the live sessions. Look at that retest. Look at that retest of the zone. Again, if I take this zone, if I took this off, a lot of people are buying the market. They're buying, they're buying, they're buying. Who knew it was going to stop right there? Who knew to the pit, from the wick to the pit, that it was going to stop right there? It went above previous highs over here. Even though this is a 3-minute chart, when it comes to market structure and price action, regardless of what time frame you are, all rules still apply, right? So when people saw that it was breaking this high right here, they started buying the market just to get caught in the trap. Retail traders will get caught in the trap a lot of the times because they're buying at the high. Why should we buy at the high when we should be selling at the high? We know it's the high because of this awesome tool we have. Shout out to the Perfect Entry Trading System. But this is the high of the zone. We were already selling. It told us to sell previously, so we're looking for selling opportunities. What's your best selling opportunity? Right there at the high, right? So notice if you had to put that sell from the high, the very high, these are one of those trades where you can go to your position size calculator and you can use the stop loss of 5 pips or 10 pips. If you use a stop loss of 5 pips, because it's not going above the high, this is the standard lot size of 20, which is $200 a pip, which is still 1% risk on a $100,000 account. You're not over leveraging at all using the standard lot size. You're only able to use the standard lot size because you lowered your risk based off of your entry. It told you to sell. Where should you sell from? If you sell from down here, it's 40 pips. If you sell from up here, it's 10 pips. You can narrow it down. If it comes out the zone at all, I'm wrong. If it closes outside of the zone at all, I am wrong on the setup. But 9 times out of 10, if it doesn't and it respects the zone, this is the ultimate high. My stop loss can be 2 pips if I wanted to. Did you ever see it come back above the zone? It didn't. So if you utilize that $200 a pip standard lot size and it comes back to the bottom of the zone, which is 20 pips, that's $4,000. That's just getting it back to the bottom of the zone. If you held it though, this is why we're stressing funded accounts. If you held this trade from a sell at the top of the zone, somewhere near the top of the zone, and you pulled it down all the way down here, that's 100 pips. 100 pips times $200 a pip is $20,000. Potentially, hypothetically, right? But that's the opportunity that is in front of us, utilizing a funded account, of course, getting funded, and utilizing these strategies and the tools that we have available to where you can find these optimal entries. Do these optimal entries happen all of the time? No, but they happen often. You just have to be aware of it. And when it does happen, you know what to do. But notice that was Euro USD. So we still have our zone. We're going to scan briefly real quick just to see where the trades are at. Nothing looks like we're breaking as of yet. Oh, wait, let's go back to that. We're close on Euro JPY. Notice where Euro JPY is at. It's testing the bottom of our zone. So we're going to wait to see if we can get a break. I'm going to pull up Euro JPY on one of these screens over here so we can watch it. Pull over here. Euro USD is doing the same thing. Let's go ahead and put that there. Why is it not showing that? Welcome, welcome. Let's put it over here. Give me a second, you guys. Let me pull this Euro JPY up. For some reason, it's not doing it. All right, maybe over here. That's not letting me add. All right, we'll get back to that. So anyway, let's do a brief scan. I want you guys to see if you was to utilize the tool, the signals, how many opportunities, potential opportunities you would have had yesterday just from the signals itself. And the signals, like I said, it will give you take profit 1, 2, and 3. Let me show you real quick. We put the plots back on so you guys can see. Where is it at? I took it off somewhere. All right. Well, if you guys had the tool for training purposes, I took off some of the labels that way it wouldn't oversaturate the chart, wouldn't confuse you guys. But normally it'll tell you entry. This orange line is your entry, but on the side of it, it'll say entry in the price. It'll say stop loss your price, take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, and all of the prices on the side. That way you can just copy it into your account. If you're getting it from the app, you'll see this exact same thing. You'll see your take profit zones, you'll see your entry and your stop loss. That way you can simply just copy and paste. But notice, we're going to scan through real quick. We already did Euro USD. Notice that sell went straight into profit, 100 pips. Euro CAD sell went straight into profit. They go that optimal entry again. There's another one. There's another one from the high. There's another 5 pip stop loss trade, and you caught over 100 pips. Euro CAD, almost 120 pips. Euro NZD, same thing. There's that optimal entry again. It was beautiful setups yesterday. Lord have mercy. It was beautiful. These optimal entries are the ones where you can trade with your eyes closed. I can trade and go. If I'm trading and my stop loss is 5 pips, right? Notice here on the 3-minute chart, it came above the zone just a little bit, right? So it would have been a little bit tricky. But if you had to quote this trade and your stop loss is 10 pips, that's an easy trade. I would much rather risk 10 pips a trade than risk 50 pips or 100 pips a trade. I've been seeing trades where people will send out, I guess it's long-term trades, but their stop loss is 100 pips. If I got to go 100 pips to hit a stop loss, that means I'm on the wrong side of the trade. As a scalper anyway, maybe that's just me. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Euro AUD. Get back to where we were. Euro AUD gave us a sell. There goes that optimal entry again. So even if you took the initial sell, you might have fell in a little bit of drawdown. Your drawdown is probably about 20 pips, but you caught over 100 on the drop. Euro JPY. We spoke on those optimal entries there. Same thing, well over 100 pips on that sell. So far, so good. All of these trades straight into profit. This one went about 50 pips. We haven't seen a loss yet. We went through about 6 pairs. We have a sale. There we go. There's a loss. We're still human, aren't we? Nothing's really perfect in life, right? There's a loss. I like to point out the losses because they don't happen often. But you guys will see that more and more as you are getting tuned into the tools, using our strategies and using the system. Here goes another sale straight into profit. It took a while, but here's a sale straight into profit over 100 pips. Over 100 pips. Let's keep going. GBP CAD, same thing. Sell straight into profit. Straight into profit. We actually caught a buy here. Is this the same zone? No. Okay, so this zone right here. Here's a buy. Here's another loss. Let's point that one out. There's another loss. This buy, close the buy, came right back into the zone, right? Now, if you was catching this buy on a lower time frame, let's measure it out real quick. This buy gave you your 10 pips, potentially, if you caught it on a lower time frame. We're going to get to that shortly. But that buy was a potential loss. If you took it strictly from the signal on the hour chart, it eventually hit your stop loss. But right after it hit your stop loss, it gave you the sell, and you got your profit back, right? TCAD. So that's 2 losses so far. Here's another sell straight to profit, 80 pips. GJ. Another sell straight to profit. There go that optimal entry again. So if you're catching some of these and you're catching it with a 5 pip stop loss and you're able to trade with a 20 standard lot size and you're catching this ride, this is a potential $5,000, $10,000 trade right here, being that you caught it from the optimal entry. So even if you did take a few losses here and there, you're catching your 10 pips, 20 pips, 100 pips here and there. If you catch it from up here, though, your lot size is going to be much higher. Therefore, you're going to make a lot more money on the trade. You might win $1,000 off of this trade, but being that you put the optimal entry, instead of using 40 pips for your stop loss, using 5 pips for your stop loss. So therefore, you can up your lot size. So now you're making way more money on the exact same setup. So if you take a trade from the optimal entry and it's a 5 pip stop loss and you run it for 100 pips and you earn $5,000, $10,000 to $20,000, you can be done for the day, the week, the month, if you wanted to. Right? Well, let's keep going. USD CAD. USD CAD gave us a buy. There's that optimal entry again. 2 of them. 2 of them. So if we're buying the market, where should we buy from? Do we want to buy when it breaks all the way up here? Because that's what retail traders do. They wait for it to break. I'm going to put my buy stops, and if it activates my buy stop, it'll put me in profit. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not throwing no shots to retail traders. I'm a retail trader as well, right? But unfortunately, we find ourselves buying it, fear of missing out. We find ourselves buying it at the high. If we're buying it, we should be buying it at the lowest point possible, which is here and there. There's 2 more trades that you can take with a 5 to 10 pip stop loss. And if you're catching this trade from the bottom of the zone, or at least in the middle of the zone, and it ran up 40, 50 pips, you're in the money. You're clearly in the money. $200 time, that's $10,000 off of this trade in 2 hours. Potentially, hypothetically, right? Now, we want to throw the disclaimers out there before if we start trading live. I don't want to, of course, you guys know I'm not a genie. I don't have a magic crystal ball in front of me. I am not a financial advisor. I am just here to educate, inform, and to hopefully help you guys find trade setups. Therefore, you can ultimately make money. And a lot of these trade sessions, I'm going to be trading live or on demo. You can be trading live or on demo. But as long as we're trading together and getting consistent wins, everything should be fine, right? But I do got to throw that disclaimer out there. Y'all know this is risky now. Anything in life can be risky, especially when you're investing. But that's the goal, is not to invest your own money. You can go ahead and get you a funded account. And just from experience, I've understood one thing about having it for some strange reason, subconsciously, it takes a little bit of the stress and the pressure off of your shoulders. It might sound crazy, but some of you guys may know, you may be in demo and doing awesome, doing excellent. You're confident, you're not sweating the losses. That's because you're mentally not connected to the money. It's not your money. But as soon as you invest your own money, you start second guessing yourself. You start revenge trading, hedge trading, end up hypothetically. I'm not saying you guys are losers, because everybody in here is a winner. That's why y'all here with us today, right? But I've done it myself. Found myself when I first started demos, I'm winning 20, 30 trades in a row. It's a piece of cake. As soon as I got and started trading my live money, everything started going left field. It's because you're mentally connected to the money. It's yours. You don't want to lose your own money, right? So just think of that subconsciously. When you do get a funded account, subconsciously, it's not your money. So it's going to take some of that mental pressure off of your shoulders. But let's keep going. USD CAD gave us an easy 50 pips. USD CHF. USD CHF, buy straight into profit. Straight into profit, right? Caught to 20, 30 pips. Caught to 20, 30 pips to the upside. Let's keep going. USD JPY. Scanning real quick, make sure we're not missing nothing. He's still in the clear, still in the clear. All right, USD JPY. Here's one of those sales, straight into profit, 80 pips, right? Here's one of those retests. Here's a retest to the, again, now if you're selling the market, this is why the zone is very important. If you're selling the market, you want to sell at the highest points possible, right? Your highest points possible on the zone is either the below the zone here. If it retests the zone, just like it did there, there's another sale. On the lower time frame, you would have caught this sale coming right back out the zone, and you would have caught another 50 pips, right? Or if it ultimately wants to come to the top of the zone, that's your 5 pip stop loss. That's the ultimate entry. So it happened twice on UJ. It's telling you to sell. It's not telling you to buy. So we shouldn't be looking for no buys whatsoever unless it closes above our zone like it did previously. But we're looking for sales. So if we're selling and we miss the sale and we notice it's pulling back, we're going to wait. This is where the discipline comes into play. We wait on the lower time frame. We're going to see this touch. We're going to see it in the zone. On a 3-minute chart, we're going to see it come back out the zone. We sell it all over again for another 60 pips. All you need is 10. If you're trading on a funded account and you got a lot size of a 10 standard lot for $100 a pip, all you need is 10, right? It's $1,000. You can be done. But if you want to risk holding it, you can hold it and get your 40, 50, 60, and you can be done for the week. But guess what happened after that? It came all the way back up. I can guarantee you if we turn the lights off, people are buying. People were buying right here. They were buying on the lower time. They're buying. I wouldn't blame them. I would buy too. I would have bought this down here somewhere though, because if you want to buy, where do you buy from? At least buy from the low. That's just technicals. But we knew that we shouldn't buy all the way up here because if you turn the lights back on, we'll notice it's the top of our zone and we've been selling the entire time. So why should we be buying anything? You want to sell this. If you sell it, it came right back to the bottom of the zone. That was an easy 20 pip trade, 30 pips. That from the top to the bottom, 30 pips. Easy. Let's keep going. AUD USD. AUD USD. Ooh. Stagnant, went sideways all day, sideways. These are 2 trades. Here's a rare one. This trade gave you a sell, hit the stop loss. Gave you a buy, hit the stop loss. Y'all see that? This is a rare trade. You're not going to see this all of the time, but this is one of them days on AUD USD. Now notice I got all of the pairs, all of them on my hit list. Consider this my Forex hit list. Any pair can get it, right? Do you have to trade all of the pairs though? If you're seeing it consolidating, here we go. Sell on Euro JPY, baby. It's an early signal. We got some action, y'all. We got some action, baby. Euro JPY. You guys pull it up, do your own analysis. Tell me what you guys think. This might be a nice trade all over again. I think Euro JPY started us off yesterday. So now we're on a minute chart. Hold on, let's go back to a 5-minute real quick. There's some structure going on. We got to make sure we practice proper. All right, so we have a trend line that was formed. I'm going to take it from here. Trend line formed. Trend line is already being broken. So now we're seeing that it's potentially breaking on the bottom, right? So we want to see a clear break on the lower time frame. We want to see it break on the lower time frames. If you want to get into the sell, us doing it on the low. Now we can wait conservatively and we can wait for the hour signal, just like you've seen on Euro JPY, the hour signal gave us easy 60, 70 pips. I believe it's probably more than that. But do you want to wait for the entire hour to finish? You want to wait for the hour to close, or do you want to get in the first few minutes of the sale, which will ultimately give you an extra potentially 20, 30 pips, right? Because there's times that we've got in. Now it's more riskier doing it this way. Of course, the hour chart is the more conservative signal. Doing it on a minute chart, the 5-minute chart is a little bit more riskier, but you can lower your risk because you can tighten your stop loss. So hypothetically, if we was to take the sell out of the zone, I want to see a close outside of the zone. Only one candle close outside of the zone. So it's not valid yet. It's not valid yet. As you can see, it's back inside the zone. But what we want to do is we want to prepare ourselves. We want to trap ourselves. What is our levels of interest? Here's a level of interest here, which is where it's at now. There's another level of interest here. And then ultimately you have the top of our zone. So as long as it respects ultimately the top of the zone, notice the stop loss is at the high. The stop loss is way up here. But I don't want, if I'm trying to sell this market, I don't want it to go or close above the zone. Ultimately, if it comes way up here and gives me wicks and starts rejecting, that's the ultimate entry, right? So as long as it respects the top of the zone or it respects my points of interest, my sell opportunity is still valid, right? Sell opportunity is still valid. Let's briefly scan. Now, if you do, again, if you want to sell, ultimately, you want to sell at the highest points possible. Where's your highest points possible? You have your top of your zone. You can sell from up there, or you can even sell from here, or you can sell from where it's at now, or you can just sell from the entry. This little orange line is your entry. That is if you're anticipating the sell already. Market structure is already being broken. We're already breaking below the low. As long as we stay below these lines, we're in the clear to sell. Now, if it breaks above this line and it respects this line, it comes back below this line, we're still in the clear for the sell, right? So we're just gonna wait for it. You guys keep your eyes on Euro JPY. It's already starting to signify that it may break below the zone, but who knows? It may come back to the top of the zone and go for a buy. We don't know, we can't predict. The market is unpredictable at times, but we gotta keep our eye on Euro JPY. Let's do some more scans to see where we're at on everything else. Euro CAD, Euro NZD, and this is all I really do. I just scan, and just wait for the break. Wait for the break. You don't have to force yourself or anything like that. You just wait for a break. If it doesn't break, you don't have to trade. You wait for the break. It's a lot of people right now just trying to find a way into the market. There's no idea where it's going to go. If it buys above the zone, though, I know we're in buyer's territory. If it goes below the zone, I know we're in seller's territory. I know what to look for. But as of right now, unless you're using other tools, if you're using your own strategy or if you're using technicals, price action, fundamentals, you may have a good idea. Notice I haven't gone to a 4-hour chart, monthly chart, weekly chart. I haven't pulled up the currency strength meter. I haven't even pulled up the news. All of that stuff is very, very important. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use all of that stuff. It will add more artillery to your firepower when you do want to fire off your trade. But when it comes to these tools and these strategies, you don't necessarily have to use those on a higher time frame, right? There's been plenty of times I'll pull up sessions, I won't even look at an hour chart or a 4-hour chart or a monthly chart. I'm focused solely on what I'm looking at now. The zone, I'll go to the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 second, get my entry, get my 10 pips, and I'm done for the day. That's me though. Some people called me crazy when I was telling them I was trading like that. It's cool though. It's cool though. Hopefully you guys will be psychos along with me in the near future. That's the goal. Let's keep scanning. Let's see what we got. We got a break on GBP AUD. We got a small break on GBP AUD. Let's pull this up somewhere else. Why? Give me a second, you guys. GBP. GBP different. All right, so we're gonna keep scanning in a second here. See what else we got. GBP NZD, brush the top of the zone, starting to pull down. I believe we caught a trade like that yesterday with Euro NZD to where we caught the test of the zone. Yesterday was a pretty good day. We had some good setups. Oh, there's another one, USD JPY. Look like the JPY crosses. It's Asian session, baby. Asian session. JPY picks. JPY pairs. Yesterday, it did pretty good for us yesterday, so we're going to keep our eyes out on it again today. Seems like those are the ones that's breaking first. JPY pairs, AUD, USD. Let's see what AUD, JPY is doing. Look at that. Retested that zone. It's telling us to sell, but notice we never caught a break and close below. This is a minute chart, so you can't necessarily just go blindly off of the sell signal. If you're on an hour chart, I'm not telling you to jump in the waters blindly and you don't know how to swim, right? But it is more, you'll get a higher chance. If you're going to jump blindly, it's a higher chance to do so on a higher time frame. Being that we're on a minute chart, we have to factor in a few other things when it comes to the signal. Notice the sell signal came in, but it did not even close below the zone, right? So we're not even going to pay attention to that one as of right now. We got to get a clear break below the zone. As of right now, we don't look like we got too much action. Not too much action right now. Everything's still in the zone. No action, no action. Not giving us no action right now. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go. I'm just for the those that are new. We're gonna go through some of these setups on why this zone and these tools are very, very useful. So let's just pick a random pair. Somebody just throw a random pair in the chart. And we're gonna go over it. Random pair, random pair. Somebody throw a pair in the chat. EN. US 30. US 30. We're gonna get to that. US 30, the dirty 30 is on the hit list too. Notice down here. This is my entire hit list. Gold, silver, platinum, US 30, NASDAQ, S&P, US 200, the euro. All of it is on the hit list. US 30, that's more for the golden key. The golden key tool is separate, is similar to our session key tool, but the session key tool is mainly for the Forex pairs. The golden key tool is for your metals and your indices. We're going to get into that next week for the exclusive members. We're going to get into the golden key for the exclusive members. But we're going to do that. We're going to start that next week on next week's sessions. We didn't want to over complicate things by doing trainings throughout this week on both tools. So we were going to focus on the social session key tool this week, and then we're going to get into the golden key tool next week and dive into them indices, baby. EN, somebody said EN. So we're going to pull up EN. Where is it? Where is it? EN. So first, let's go on and look at the higher time frame so you can see the setups on EN. We can see the setups. Zoom out. We're gonna go session by session, trade by trade, so you can see how powerful the tool is, right? So we already went through the first sale. That was a sale. Optimal entry from the top, 150 pips, right? Previous session, you got a sale, hit the take profit 1, 25 pips. You got to buy out the zone, went to take profit 1, it pulled back right away. So if this, even if this buy, if you was catching on a signal, depending on where you got in at, you might not have caught your 10 pips, 20 pips. So we're going to count that one as a loss. But this is where the tool comes into play, right? So we're selling, put the 25 pips. You're buying, you might have hit the stop loss, but notice what happened after that. It's still same rules apply. The tool might not have told you to sell here because it already told you to sell outside the zone. Once it tells you to sell once and it tells you to buy once and it gives you another break, it's not going to give you the re-entry. Unfortunately, we're working on that. We're working on that. Give us a little bit of time. We're going to add that as well. But notice you caught the sell all over again. So even if you did catch this loss, you're catching the sell out the zone. There's your 100 pips. Not only that, you could have held it through the next session and caught 200 pips. That's probably about 250 pips if you had caught the sale from outside the zone. Let's go to the previous one. Sell, straight to take profit 2. Depending on where you got in at, it's about 10, 20, 30 pips. Here's a buy, straight to profit. Depending on where you got in at, the buy is here. This entry from the signal gave you 130 pips. And notice we're going, and these don't repay. Notice if it hits the stop loss, it's going to tell you hit the stop loss. So these are potential setups that you could have caught based off of the system on just Euro NZD. The sell hit the stop loss, right? That's about 40 pips stop loss. You caught the buy. Your buy gave you at least your 40 pips back. Here's that sell opportunity that you could have got in right there, right? Here's another one, sell, entries, went to take profit 2, that's about 40 pips. Your buy entry hit your take profit 1. That's about 20 to 30 pips right there. This orange line is your entry from the buy, right? So notice we're going session by session. Not too many losses here. You got your buy. It didn't hit your stop loss. It almost did. It scared you a little bit, didn't it? It probably scared you a lot. 3 times. Probably scared you 3 times. But it did hit your take profit 1, 2, ultimately almost take profit 3. Buy, straighten the profit, take profit 1, 2. If you had held it throughout the session, you went over 120 pips off of this buy entry. Previous sell, take profit 2, straight back into the zone, another sell, 100 pips out of the zone. And notice we're going session by session. I'm not skipping the session. Here's a sell, straight into profit. Here's a buy, straight into profit. Here's a, look at that buy. Look at that. You can't get no cleaner than that. The buy, the tool called the buy before it even came out the zone. That's how powerful this trade was. Before it even got out the zone, it gave you the buy. And I'm talking straight profits, no sweat. Only time you were sweating was right here. But why you sweating if you still in profit? I mean, you're up 100 pips. Why sweat? You're up. You came back, you're about 80 pips of profit. You probably, it was up 120. So you probably secured 100 pips and then it came down and took you out, right? Before it went up another 100 pips. But so what? You got your 100 pips out that trade. All we're looking for is how much? Say somebody just answering in the chat. How many pips we looking for real? Especially when we trade on the funded account. How many pips? 10. That's it. Thank you, Christy. Shout out to Christy, man. She's been an exclusive member for some time. Utilizing the tools as well. She understands the power. Hopefully you guys that are new will follow suit and you guys will see the power of this tool. The sell, short-lived, still gave you your 10 pips, right? That's all you're looking for. Your buy, short-lived, still gave you your 10 pips. That's all we're looking for. Buy, short-lived, still gave you your 10 pips, came back to another entry and gave you 70 pips. Yes, ma'am. Chrissy said this is the best tool she's used. Yes, ma'am. I've used them throughout my experience. I've run across some amazing tools as well. I'm not taking nothing away from no trader, no education, no platform, or no tool. But honestly, these tools that we've been using, these signals are top notch. I'm not saying we're the best. We're not in competition with nobody but ourselves, right? But we definitely have some amazing things here inside of these tools, inside of this toolkit, and these signals have been on point. Now, understand every trader is different. Every trader is going to get different results. Risk disclaimers, right? I feel you. I go through the same thing. I go through the same thing, Christy. Manually right now, we have to add the tools. We're working on that so it can be automated. But I have to manually do some things on my side. So it may be like a brief lapse, a few hours throughout the day. Once I understand that there's a lapse, we're going to go ahead and fix it. Like today, the signals, I didn't even know, Chrissy, that the signals wasn't coming in for a few hours. Like the signal, I looked at, I was like, hold on, the last signal we called was what? So I had to check on a few things and make sure everything was still connected the right way. Sometimes you got to reset certain things. So that is a manual thing. That's my fault though. I'm make sure I keep an eye on that. Well, obviously, you guys can see the power of your, okay, here's a sell that hit the stop loss. Here's a loss, right? We don't see much. We don't see many losses. We don't see many losses. Who was that they called out the EN? That was Kristen. So you notice on that EN, Kristen, that is, I mean, you should know already. But for the guys that are new, well, let's start a pair out there. Well, hold on, let's do a quick scan. Let's do a quick scan. We don't want to miss nothing. Which one was we at? Euro JPY. Let's see where it's at real quick. Somebody throw another pair out there. Notice what happened on Euro JPY. Now, we've crossed over our first point of interest. We're now nearing the second point of interest. I am definitely looking for a small test from here, right? So if we was to take a sell from here, let's go to the lower time frame. This is where we start getting dangerous, baby. Stay dangerous. 5-second chart, 5-second action. Notice we do have a trend channel. Even though it's low time frames, the market structure and the rules still apply, right? So we have a trend channel. Where's the trend channel at? Is around there in this area. Notice it started going sideways, like it didn't do no movement, and is now breaking the trend channel, respecting our point of interest. So if we did take a sell from here, instead of taking the sell down here, we now saved ourselves 10 pips. So if we were to take the sell from here, all they got to do is come back to the entry and we're done, right? But these are the cases where you can find, I'm not telling you guys to sell yet, right? I'm not telling you guys to sell yet. This is just hypothetically. This is where you will find yourself catching better entry. Because if you took the sell from here and you use the ultimate stop loss, which is 10 pips above the zone, and we took the sell from here, that's now 20 pip stop loss instead of 40. If it goes even higher and it respects the top of the zone, now it's a 10 pip stop loss instead of 20. Or if we take this sell and we want to lower our stop loss from 20 pips to 10, then you can put your stop loss right above the zone. Because if we're selling, we don't expect it to go above the zone anyway, right? So you can put it right above the zone. There's your 10 pip stop loss if we was to take the trade. If I was to take this trade, I would take it somewhere around here, at least break market structure a little bit and into here, stop loss. You can use your stop loss either above this point of interest, stop loss above the zone, or ultimately use the stop loss that's given from the signal. But we're going to keep an eye on Euro JPY, see what it tells us, see what it tells us. We can't force it. We have to understand what it's taught. That's why they call it a foreign language, foreign exchange. It's a foreign language. But once you understand what the chart is telling you, and you understand the language, then you'll be able to react the right way. So we're just gonna wait and see what Euro JPY is talking about. What you talking about? What you talking about, you EJ? Let's go to DJ, see what it's doing. Same thing, same thing. We're nearing the top of the zone. We was at the bottom of the zone. Now we're at the top of the zone, right? It didn't tell us to buy or sell yet. So ultimately, if I was to take a trade, if I was to make a decision to take a trade right now, we don't know whether to buy or sell. Which is the better trade to take? Do we want to buy here or should we sell from up here? Somebody answering. Should we buy from up there or should we be looking for a sell right now? For those that haven't been paying attention. Or for those that have at least been, there we go, sell. We should at least be selling. I mean, it's not telling us to sell. It didn't go below the zone. If it goes below the zone, then we know we're in seller's territory. And then if it pulls back, we're only looking for sales because we saw a price break this important zone. But being that we don't know where it's going, right? The best trade opportunity or the low risk to high reward trade opportunity would be to sell from the high instead of buying it from the high. Because if we was to buy from up here and anticipate it to break and retest and go 100 pips, if we're buying from up here, that means our stop loss is below the zone. So our stop loss would be 20 pips. Still not a bad trade. Still not a bad trade. We just got to hope it goes in our direction, right? But if we sell from up here, our stop loss is now 5 pips or 10 pips. Notice what's happening as we speak. Breaking the trend and it's starting to come down. All we need is 10 pips. 10 pips is to the middle of the zone. All you need is 10 if we was to sell from here. Now, if we get a pullback and it respects this level that it just created right here, I would sell this market. I would definitely sell. That's me. This is technicals. We're not gonna go. We're here for the tools. We're here to go over the tools, the power of the tools. That's just a technical trade that I would have taken based off of what I understand from the zone, right? And once you get to understand this tool, you will find yourself making decisions on your own, because that's the ultimate goal, to be self-sufficient. Even though the tool will help you, it'll guide you. Ultimately, you still have to make the decision on pressing that button or not, right? Whether you're going to buy or you're going to sell. I can guarantee you there's people in the market right now that are trying to buy. Are they wrong? We don't know. We don't know. People are trying to buy the market right now. I wouldn't look for a buy unless it breaks above this zone on at least a minute chart, 3-minute chart, 5-minute chart, comes back, respects the zone, shows me it doesn't want to go back into the zone, then I know it has no choice but to go higher. If it ain't going to come back in the zone, it has to go higher. It's not going to go sideways the entire time, right? So this is another one we'll look for. GJ, potential bounce of the sell. Let's look at another one. I believe all the JPY pairs are following each other. We got a break, a small break outside. Where's our points of interest? Let's line these up real quick on a higher time frame. We're going to do this in all of the JPY crosses, so we will be prepared. Let's see, we got one here, which is previous zone. That's about it. AJ, think of that bounce. That would have been an easy 10 pips. It's already above the point of interest. So I'm just expecting it to pull back to either the zone or just to break a trend line if we was to look for the sell. But right now, that sell is invalid. It never closed below the zone, so I wouldn't even pay attention to it. I wouldn't even draw that trend line. It's invalid. So we'll just keep an eye on that. A lot of them bounced back into the zone, which was, I think it was Euro USD. Everything's back in the zone, you guys. Let's see. Uh-oh, hold on. I like that pattern. What was that? Like them shoe wedge patterns, guys. I like them. I like them a lot. So I like these patterns a lot. So we're gonna box that in. I'm gonna box that in real quick. Even though we are inside the zone, we want to trap the market. So you don't have a clear indication. You just have to trap the market. Now we have a small, even though that we're in the zone, I've noticed this order block right here. So if it wants to get back to at least the bottom of the zone, it has to break this small box. It either has to break this small box or break the trend line. It's not going to go sideways forever all the way into the corner and just stop. It has to either break the trend line or it has to break the bottom of the zone. So now Euro NZD is trapped until it tells us where it wants to go. We'll get back to that. Let's keep scanning. Euro AED's in the zone. All right, this is a trade that we were looking at, Euro JPY. It's a pretty good setup. Look what we got. That's why you wanted to utilize the points of interest. Notice where it came to and stopped at the point of interest, and it started selling. Being that it's on the minute chart, we can expect major movements in the sell. But if I wanted to sell this market, like I said, I would sell beyond this low. So if it breaks back below this low, I would sell the market. Based on, that's if we're following the sell signal, right? Ultimate high is your ultimate sell with the lowest lot size, the lowest stop loss possible. That is a potential sell, just based off of market structure. You have another point of interest here. And your points of interest, if you're selling, your points of interest is nothing but previous highs. Notice you had a high, came up, had a high, made a lower low. And being that it's down here, it has to break this high to go higher. If it wants to go higher, it has to break this high. It has to break this high if it wants to go higher. As long as it's not making higher highs and it start making lower highs, we're still in the downtrend. We're still in the sell. That's how you add the market structure with the tool. So as we're scanning, so far so good. Nothing's really giving us a clear indication or getting into any trades. So far, do you guys have any questions for those that are? You can either unmute yourselves or ask in the chat.
Yeah, Coach Scott, I got a question.
Yes,
you know how you were showing the lights, how the lights turn on and turn off? Like the thing. Okay. So you were showing like, okay, in the 1 hour charts, like the cells, like how it's testing those levels. And it's not, well, one time I saw it broke out, but then like you said, you put that stop loss and you put it 5 pips, 10 pips, and if it hits, whatever.
Yeah, take those losses. Yeah.
And so now in the light thing, that thing, you said to sell from the highest point, and then so for example, if you look in that box, like right in front of me right there, it says a buy right there. It says a buy. You just had it right there.
Right there?
Where? Okay, well, this one works too. Okay, so it's saying, yeah, if you just want to keep it like,
Are you talking about this one here?
the one, no, it's, Yeah, well, yeah, you can go back to that one. Yeah,
Okay.
that one,
Right
the
here.
one that you. Okay, yeah, that one right there. So it said a buy, right?
Uh-huh.
And that blue screen, the lights on.
Uh-huh.
So if you look at that buy, that's at the top, right? If you look at that buy, wouldn't that be technically a sell right there because it's like all the way at the top of that
That's
thing?
that's a good eye. That's a good eye. And that's when as a trader, you will naturally have to make the right decision. Now, ultimately, if you're brand new, if you don't know market structure or if you haven't been familiar with the tool, we would just say just follow the signal itself, right? So even here, this is one of those when we went over GU where you caught the sell, but the sell hit the stop loss. So
Yeah.
ordinarily, as long as it's above the zone, we're looking for buys, right? If it's below the zone, we're looking for sales. The zone is very important, and it will change during previous sessions and everything like that. So, but you're right. Part of it, we don't necessarily want to buy at the high, but it's a lot of times that if it breaks this zone, you're still clear for a buy for at least 10, 20, 30, sometimes even 100 pips. Like it'll buy from here, just like here. It sold, it went straight into profit. Like,
Okay.
so we naturally, even though this is considered the zone, this zone is still important. So you can still sell from the low of this zone. But the optimal entries, now notice what happened. If we wanted to sell, just like you said, we wanted to sell and we selling from where? We sell from the top of the zone, and we could have caught out 20 pips off of the sell from the zone back down. Now notice this buy, it was a spinning top candle. So market structure and price action would have told us that this is a possible reversal candle based off the market structure, but it still gave us the signal. Didn't know the signal. The tool doesn't read price action, so it still gave us the buy in this candle. But if we wanted to buy from, where do we buy from? We buy from the low, right?
In that blue, so the buy would come in that blue screen, but at the bottom, like the lower,
That's
right?
we will buy it right there. So we see it want to
Okay.
buy, but if I want to buy, this is a more riskier buy because it is at a high. You got your spinning top and everything like that. If it's pulling back into the zone and then it crosses back above the zone, then I can at least get the buy from here. So if it's buying and it goes up 20 pips, comes back into the zone, just like it did. It came back into the zone, stopped at the zone. So you could have either bought it from the bottom of the zone, or you could have caught it when it crossed back above the zone. And it went eventually, it still went into profit. So even if you caught this buy, it hit your stop loss, right? But say that little wick didn't hit the stop loss. This buy still went into profit. It just took a little while for it to go into profit. The ultimate entries is when you catch it at the lowest point. Now, sometimes it won't come all the way down to the bottom. So the only other lowest point you can get would be the top of the zone. It might, hold on, let me see if I can find one. Let me see if I can find one real quick. I think it was on the JPP pairs. I mean, the GB, I think the JPY pairs. I think yesterday, was it yesterday? Let's see if we can find it. Here goes one right here. So yesterday we got a sell, it went straight into profit, and it pulled back. It didn't come all the way to the top of the zone, but it did come to the bottom of the zone. So this, even though this is still considered the bottom of the zone in the sell, you might, in retrospect, it looks like you're selling from the low from the zone, but the low of the zone, the break of this low of the zone is putting you in seller's territory. So you only have two places to sell from. Ultimately, the high, you want to sell from the highest point, or if you have no other choice, sell from at least the bottom of the zone. So even if you was seeing the sell and you saw the sell that's coming in, we can't say, well, we want to sell, but just like here, it's looking like you selling at the low. It looks like we're selling at the low for market structure, but that's why these zones are very important, right? So that's when we have to figure out, okay, it's breaking the low. It broke the low, but guess what happened? Pulled back to the zone. So even if we were unsure here and we didn't want to risk it here, here's a clear indication to sell in this area. If I was to go to a lower time frame, you will see in a 5-minute chart, 3-minute chart, 1-minute chart, the candles is inside the zone again. And then when it breaks back out the zone, you can catch the sell from the retest because you notice that the sell went down 100 something pips. If it sold for 100 pips and it comes back to the zone, you might as well sell again. Because if it has to pull all the way back to the zone, it's too late to buy, right? Because if it goes down 100 pips and then it starts buying and it done bought up 80 pips, you missed out on the buy. There's no sense of buying now, is because now it's back at our zone. So here, those are those case scenarios so where you can just look left. Okay, I've seen it in the zone. It's been selling. It sold for over 100 pips, and then it pulled all the way back to the zone. These are those cases where you sell from the high.
And that's awesome, because if you see there that sell, that 100 pips take TP3, take profit 3, you could have took a buy right there. It pulled back up and then it came back down, and then you could have sold again right there.
Indeed. That's where the technicals come into play. On this, I believe I don't know if the people that were witness yesterday, I don't know which trade it was, but I saw the pullback on the buy on Euro JPY. I didn't expect it to pull all the way back to the zone, but I saw the pullback based off of technicals. I believe it was like a shoe wedge pattern. Let's see if I can pull it up. I believe it was one of them. It was either Euro JPY or GBP JPY. But I saw the wedge pattern. So that's when the technicals, if you're a technical trader and you understand market structure and everything like that, you can definitely catch the retracement. Because here, where is it at? Where is it at? I don't know about this. Yeah, this little pattern right here. I saw this little pattern. This is a descending wedge triangle pattern. I saw it. I saw the break here. I said it's about to pull back, you guys. I seen it just plain as day, just based off the pattern. So even if you did catch the sell is 40 pips. You can catch the buy right back up. That's a more riskier trade because now you're trading manually instead of just utilizing the tool set, right? Because nothing told us to buy. So if you decide to buy, that'll be basically totally up to us on our own discretion based on our own analysis. But it bought right back to the 3-minute chart, to the T, right back to the zone.
If you put that golden key on there, will it not tell you to buy right there?
The golden key may have told us to buy. That's a good one. The golden key may have told us to buy. Oh, the golden key didn't kick in until later. So notice, the golden key won't kick off till maybe after 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. But notice we caught the sell initially from the session key. And then once the golden key activated, the golden key gave us the sell all over again. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. When you combine the two. Now, if you're brand new, we do have another tool. The golden key, like I said previous, was mainly for gold. Let's pull it up real quick so you guys can see it. It's mainly for gold, silver, platinum. Same rules apply, right? Same rules will apply, just like the strategy on the session key. Same rules apply for the golden key. It's just more volatile because we're trading on gold, we're trading on silver, platinum, US 30, things of that nature. But look at this zone. Look how small the zone is. The zone is probably like 3 pips. Look how small the zone is. The buy was short-lived. The buy still gave you 40 pips, 30, 40 pips. I'm quite sure it was about 30 pips. Oh no, 15. I was a little short. But all you need is again, what? 10? 10. Gave us a short-lived 10 pips in about 10 minutes. Sell. Came in, gave you another 20 pips in about 10 minutes. Where should we sell from? Notice here, the sell, if you held the sell and went well over, pips is that? It's about 80 pips. 80 pips. It came back to the zone again. And you could have sold it all over again. For 300 pips. That has to be about 200, 300 pips. Off of this little itty bitty zone. And the tool paints it out for you. The zone is very, very important. Easy sell. I'm talking about easy sell. You're not selling right now, but if you had seen this candle, it broke above it. Buy on Euro JPY. So it kept going. It's now above the zone, you guys. Here we go. Now here's a clear indication of a buy. It broke through. That's a huge candle, right? So we're gonna wait to see if it gives us a pullback, gives us a small pullback to retest the zone. And if we do want to buy, these are one of those cases. If you want to buy it at the lowest point possible, which is that hopefully it'll give us an entry. It's about to blow. It might, let me move this trend line. That is invalid now. But here's an entry on Euro JPY. I like this setup. That's a nice, look at all these candles. See how small they are? See how small they are? If you get into a zone and it breaks out like that, that's a clear indication that it wants to go higher. So as long as it stays above this zone on the 5-second chart, then we know we're in bias territory and we can get an entry somewhere. This is a 5-second chart. So as long as it stays above the zone, well, I would say on the minute chart, maybe that's a little too dangerous. If it stays above the zone on the minute chart, we're in the clear for a buy. That's Euro JPY. Let's see what the other, all of them, JPY, all of the JPY pairs is above the zone. Buys. We're buying. We just need a pullback. We just need to get a better entry. If we was watching it, instead of just solely focusing on training and everything like that, we were watching it, we would definitely got into this buy. We'd have been already in profit. You would have got your 10 pips in 1 minute. You would have got your 10 pips the first minute. It's 12. It's pulling back right now. So hopefully, y'all, we're gonna keep an eye out on the GJ, EJ. Oh, my screen is so slow today. I got all the screens up, probably. UJ don't want to pull up. Pull it over here. AJ is at the zone. AJ is, oh Lord, what I do? AJ is at the zone. GJ broke the high. EJ broke the high. NZD-JPY broke the high. Euro JPY broke the high. So we're looking for buys. We're looking for buys, you guys, on all of the JPY crosses as we speak. We're looking for buys. There's the retest right there. It would have been a retest right there. There's another retest right there on Euro JPY. This is a 5-second chart though. So what we want to do is, if you're unsure, if you want to be conservative, you just box in your trend and wait for the break. Box in your trends and wait for the break. That GJ hard. Here we go. We got a pullback. That was an easy 10 pips right there. That's 10 pips. Under our golden zone, though, that's going to be our resistance. Take that off for a minute. Box in your channels, and it'll tell you what it wants to do. Hopefully, we can get a pullback to our entry so we can get a buy from down here. There's no sense in trying to buy up here. This is buying at the high. Even though being that is a low time frame, you can still catch a buy up here if it does want to go 50 pips. There's nothing wrong with buying it here. You're still on a 5-second chart. It's still early, right? But it's best to catch it at the lowest price possible. So if this thing pulls back and it respects this zone, we're going to buy it at the entry all over again. Let's go to UJ. We just went UJ. Here's a re-entry. There's your buy, re-entry, buy, went straight into profit. I will buy UJ. Let's look overall. See, now notice I ain't even look. Okay, yeah, I would buy UJ. I would definitely buy UJ. Definitely. That was an easy buy from the bottom. I love them shoe wedge patterns. But it's already broken this high. It's already breaking above the zone. Our only points of interest is here in this area. You might get some resistance. I have another tool in the near future that you will be able to utilize. It's called the PMBO. That is going to give you all your areas of supports and resistance based off of key structures. So we're going to get to that in later sessions. But for now, we could just do them manually. That's a key area. Here's another key area. So we was buying. We can expect it if, as long as it stays above our zones, we're good to go. UJ is definitely in the clear though, from what I see. Let's see. What else is running? What is this? Yeah, UJ's gone. It's a goner. UJ's gone. It's gone. Right now, this is our current resistance on a 5-second chart. If it goes above that, it's a wrap. If it goes above that, it's a wrap. And right now, our support is, of course, the zone. As long as it don't go back into the zone, we're good. It's not going to stay in this little 5-second channel forever. If it don't go back into the zone, no, I can guarantee you it's going to go up. But if it goes back into the zone, then we just got to find better entries, right? if it still wants to buy. Right now, it looks like it wants to buy. We got to buy on the 5 second. We got to buy on the minute. We have a buy on the 3 minute. We have a buy on the 5 minute. It just broke our zone, our 10 pips. There's your 10 pips right there on that wick. Easy buy on UJ. That was an easy one. Let's see if it gave you the buy on the hour charts. It didn't. So these are the cases. This is why we say you want to be conservative. You can be conservative and wait for the hour signal. The more riskier trade, but the higher reward trade is getting it on a lower time frame because you get in early. Do you want to wait for it to get up here? Because it may give you a buy up here on the hour chart. You want to wait for it to get all the way up here? Or do you want to buy it at the lowest price possible? Right now, we're getting a pullback on UJ to give us another entry, hopefully. So we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it, see what it does. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart. Here's our pullback. Got a quick 10 pips. If you missed the first entry. Now this looks like divergence. So I would expect it to I would expect some type of pullback, right? But if it respects this zone and it never breaks back into the zone, then we know for sure it's gonna go higher. It has no choice but to bounce. If it ain't gonna come back into the zone, it has no choice but to go back up, right? So we're gonna watch UJ to see what it does, but I see a little bit of divergence going on in this area. We're gonna see. If it don't go back, if it don't go back in the zone though, well, that's definitely another entry to continue the bullish move. So our areas of interest right now is this previous low, which ultimately is the zone. Another area is crossing back above the entry. Maybe another entry. Into the 5 second. Let's see what's going on. Areas of interest, the previous low, the most recent low was here. Even though it's a 5 second chart, we still want to utilize our market structure. So as long as it stays above the zone, we're good. If it pulls below the zone and it crosses below this line, it's breaking structure, which means we may go into a downtrend, a brief downtrend. How far it goes down, we don't know. It might come to here, stop. It may come to the low of the zone and stop. We don't know how far it's going to go. But right now, it's still respecting structure, and we're looking for buy opportunities. So if it breaks this structure here and goes back above our entry, that could be a potential buy opportunity. We're going to see what it does. I would like to catch it down here somewhere, but if sometimes it might not even come back to your zone to give you an entry. You done missed your boat. These are the trains done left the station and you waiting for it to come back, you might miss the entire trade, right? So you just got to get in where you fit in. But that's where you utilize your market structure and kind of find areas to get into the market. Okay, we got to pull back. See if we can get it back to the zone. See if we can get it back to the zone. And we're gonna, just for test sake, for training sake, for the video sake, we're gonna see if we can hopefully get an immediate bounce. An immediate bounce that'll give us, if we can get a bounce from the zone back up to where we were up here to at least test the high, that is the 10 pips. All you're looking for is 10. So if we can get a bounce and it starts breaking the previous highs, we know we're in the clear. Let's see what it does. Let's see what it does. See what it does. And all the JPY pairs is pulling back into the zone. NZD JPY is back in the zone. Euro JPY is at the top of the zone. It's another one we need to pay attention to is EJ. EJ might be a better trade opportunity. That is the bounce. Look at that bounce. It came out the zone. It came out the zone. Came out the zone. Flew out the zone. Gave you 10 pips. Came back to the zone. Came back to the zone. Almost gave you another 10 pips. Look, it came back to the zone. I would buy Euro JPY right now and risk 5 to 10 pips. Back into the zone is 3 pips. I would risk at the most 5 I would risk at the most 5 pips on this buy. At the most, 5 pips. If we lose 5 pips, so what? It's 5 pips, so what? You can risk 2 pips if you want to. If I bought it, if I got it down here and I caught this, I would have probably risked like 2 pips. And it went immediately into profit. It's not much, but again, what are we looking for? All we're looking for is 10. So if I can minimize my risk to 2 pips, that's a 1-to-5 ratio. I believe it, 1-to-5. Euro JPY is definitely another one I would pay close attention to for the buy. Brief buy. We don't know how far up it's going to go, but as of right now, it's above the zone. It's already respecting the zone on lower. This is the 5-second chart. Some people didn't even know that existed. 5-second chart, and it's still bounced. It's still bouncing. It's still bouncing above the zone, which means we're still in buyer's territory. It's short-lived, lower time frame, but we are now in buyer's territory. There we go. There's another retest. There's another one. If it don't come in the zone, that's an entry. See what it does. It's in the zone. Let's see if it comes back out the zone. That's another entry. This is a 5-second chart. It's dangerous. Let's go to a minute chart. Look at the minute chart. Wicking. It's wicking. So in the 5-second chart, you may see it come in the zone. But on the higher time frame, you may see wicks. Minute chart is starting to come back into the zone. 3-minute chart, it's in the zone already. How was that? It must have moved fast as I changed the chart. Okay, so we're back in the chart. We're back in the zone. I like this setup though. I love this setup though. It's a nice impulse move into a flag pattern. It's a nice setup. I'm loving this setup right here. Loving this buy on EJ. It's a nice buy. That's if it comes back out the zone. Now it's back in the zone. This is I'm not understanding why it's not in the zone on the minute chart. It has to break market structure if it wants to go higher. So you just add your market structure to the chart real quick. This is a tricky one with all these daggone wicks, but I'm gonna use this right here. Here goes your bounce, straight out off the top of the zone. Easy as pie. Easy trade. Off. Now this is we're kind of buying from the bottom, the top, but actually being that it's retested the zone, we're already up 5 pips. Hopefully you guys caught that one as well. It's an easy 5 pips. I believe that one's going to give you your 10. Easy 10. So GJ gave us 10. First run. UJ gave us 10. We caught this one off the retest. Hopefully. Oh, it's pulling back. I thought that 10 was going to come immediately. It almost got us. Got us 5 pips, right? Now, imagine if you did take this trade, this sell, this buy from the zone, and you use a 3-pip stop loss or a 5-pip stop loss. Let's do a 5-pip stop loss. That's $200 a pip, right? $200 a pip times those 5 pips that it's at right now. It's how much? $200 a pip, and you caught 5 pips. How much money is that? And 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes of trading. Don't be shy. 5-pip stop loss on this trade. This is a 5-pip stop loss trade. Proper risk management, 1%. Some people do 2%, right? 1% proper risk management, 5 pips. 20 standard lots, which is $200 a pip. You're up $1,000 as we speak. 1,000, you're done for the day. You could be anyway. You could be done right now off of this one trade. In 2 minutes, we could have been done. That's it. 2 minutes, $1,000. That's the potential of trading with funded accounts and utilizing some of the tools that we have inside of our system. And of course, being on our live sessions, catching them live. But once you understand the tool, back test the tool, been on a few of our sessions, going over the strategies and everything like that, you will be able to do this on your own. Because we're not gonna go live 5 days a week. We might give you 2 or 3 good sessions throughout the week, just to make sure you guys at least catching at least $1,000 a day. If you can get $1,000 a day 3 times a week, that's $3,000 a week. That's over $10,000 a month. But if you can do it on your own, and not only just catch this 10 pip move live, or catch this five pip move here, a 5 pip move there, a 5 pip move there, you can catch it at 10 p.m. We're not going to be up here at 10 p.m., but if you wanted to trade at 10 p.m. and you understand the tools and the strategy, you may be able to find yourself trading on your own like a professional. That's the goal, to make you guys self-sufficient with the proper tools, education, and resources, right? But that was an easy 5 pip move. But potential is not over yet. We're still in the clear to catch our 10. But even if you wanted to take your $1,000, being that this is an optimal trade, you were risking way less. It's only 5 pips. When you get the 5 pip profit, it's still $1,000. The goal is 1,000. So do you want to risk it and try to catch the full 10, which will give you $2,000? Or do you want to go ahead and just take your $1,000 off the table? Because a lot of the times, and I'm quite sure you guys experience this, you'll be in profit and you will sit and hold it like, oh, this is a move. I caught it at a beautiful level, and you can be up $100 or 100 pips or $1,000 or 200 pips, and then you turn around and you back at your entry. Back at the entry because you stayed in the markets for too long. When you swimming in these waters, and there's some deep, deep waters out here, and there's sharks and piranhas in these waters, if you ain't got your life vests on, you'll get eaten alive. You don't want to get in the water and just stay out there. Get in the water, get you a couple fish, get your butt up out the waters. Get in the market, get your 5, 10 pips, get up out of there. If the market gave you $1,000, don't allow it to take it back. So if your goal is $1,000 a day or $500, I'm just saying 1,000. Your goal might not be $20,000 a month. You might be satisfied with $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month. That's totally up to the trader. But whatever your goal is, if you've reached that goal, get up out the market. You don't have to wait. You don't have to hold it, even though it'll be a beautiful thing to catch 100 pips on this move at $200 a pip and catch that $20,000 a day. You might catch those a few times throughout the month, right? As long as you can get it one time out the month, you good. If you can get this one trade on 5 pip stop loss and it goes 100 pips for $200 a pip, that's $20,000. You've reached your goal for the month on one trade, potentially, hypothetically, right? But those are the opportunities that we have utilizing this tool, these sessions, and being able to catch these optimal entries. Look at these bounces. It's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing, it's bouncing. It's not trying to come back into the zone. If it ain't trying to come back into the zone, it has only one other direction to go, and that's up. Currently, we're up about 5 pips. That's EJ. Let's go back to the other ones. Let's scan real quick.
Okay, so for the...
Go ahead. Hello?
Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
For the underneath, right? It's coming underneath, right, on a 5-second chart. And so it's touching, it touched it 1, 2, 3 times, and it went in, it had a pull, big wick, and then it pulled back above the zone.
Right here?
So, no, right in the middle where you see that arrow right there. Yeah.
Right here? Okay.
So wouldn't that be like the higher time frame in this, and wouldn't, like, you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't we want to sell from there? Because
not necessarily.
The blue thing at the bottom.
The only maybe it's my internet, but you're going in and out. Now, being that we already buying. Notice if it's telling us to buy, we're looking for buy opportunities. So notice it bought. It already gave us 10 pips. So say, for instance, this wasn't a 5-second chart. This was like a 5-minute chart or something like that. This would have been like a 20, 30 pip move, right? So if it's already giving us a 20, 30 pip move, and then it start coming back to buy, this is the high of the zone. This zone is very important. So you're either going to catch this buy at the high of the zone, just like here. If you had bought it right here, it's considered buying at the high, but you're buying it from the high of the zone. The zone is very important. Now, if we take the lights off, ultimately, we're not supposed to buy at the high. We're supposed to sell at the high, things of that nature. But if we're seeing the buy, notice this buy went straight to profit, right? For 10 pips on a 5-second chart. So being that it's telling us to buy, it's in bias territory. It's already giving us our 10 pips, already hitting our take profit, and it pulls back to the high of the zone. We may never get it to come all the way back down to the bottom. It may never come back down to the bottom of the zone so that we can buy at the low. The lowest point as of right now is the top of the zone. This is the lowest it may go. It's broken above the zone already. It's pulling back to the zone. This thing may run 100 pips. We don't know. It may run 100 pips. And this may be the lowest. This may be the lowest we can get it, is at the top of the zone. Notice it's still going up. It's still gonna. We're gonna get our 10 pips off this move. What if it runs 100 pips and then we tomorrow in our session we'll look back like, damn, that was a great move on Euro JPY. Where was the entry at? The lowest entry was here. Hypothetically, that's if it runs up, right? I'm not saying it would, but that's the only case scenario where we're buying at the high because it's at the high of the zone based off of what already happened. It already broke above the zone, it went high, and then it's now pulling back. So in this case, we're not buying it from the high, because buying it from the high would be buying it if it breaks here. This is buying it from up here. If you're buying it from up here, you're buying it from the high, because it already given it that it broke above the zone. So now that we know it's buying, we want to find the lowest price possible. The lowest price possible is going to be either one at the very bottom of the zone, but if it never comes to the zone at all, your only other option is if it pulls back to the top of the zone to retest. That's why these zones and these tools are very important, because it's going to give you those areas. It's either going to give you the higher zone or the lower zone. It's either going to retest here to pull back into profit, or if all else fails, your only other option is to catch it when it comes back to the zone. Sometimes it won't even come back to the zone. It'll go up, pull back briefly, and go up 100 pips, and it'll never even come back to the top of the zone at all, right? But if you can get the buy and it already showed you it's bought and it already went up and gave you a high, and then it starts pulling back, I would much rather buy it down here. I would much rather buy it here than to wait for it to break all the way up here and buy it up here.
Yep. Coach Scott, so these zones on the charts, they automatically, like, for example, like 1 second, 3 second, 5 second, those zones they go in when we turn on the lights, right?
Yeah,
like
they automatically paint for you. The zones, the take profit 1, 2, and 3s, and the zones they automatically, because so notice it also gives you the entry, take profit 1, 2, and 3, and the stop loss ultimately for the signal. That way, if you do get the buy signal, you can just come here. Okay, I got my entry. If I want to use take profit 1, I can just copy this, put it in MT4, and here's my stop loss. So that way you can still copy and paste. Notice here on Euro JPY, we got another bounce. If it doesn't come back into the zone, here's another entry. But we're buying. We might be buying it from the high of the zone, but this may be the lowest point to buy it at because the current high is all the way up here. I would much rather buy from here than to wait for it to buy up here.
Yep.
Now
we're at that, Coach Scott, at that current high, I'm assuming, like, we go to another chart, right? That zone is gonna flip, and if it's gonna look for a sell, it's gonna tell you to sell from up there.
Well, naturally, we're only looking for sales if it breaks below the zone. So once it breaks below the zone and it closes, it's going to tell us we are in seller's territory. Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes it'll sell and it'll go straight into profit. Like, that's how powerful the tool is. I've told people, even if you're brand new on a higher time frame anyway, even though it's telling you to sell because it's breaking the low of the zone, in retrospect, it may be the same thing as selling from the low. But being that the zone is so important, if it's below the zone, it's in seller's territory. So you can still sell in a sense. Now, you want to sell from the high. If it can come back to the high, you want to sell it from the highest price possible. But if you don't know how to maneuver that or know how to utilize your market structure and everything like that, I would tell them just focus on the signal. Just follow the signal itself. So yes, when it sells, it's only going to tell you to sell if it's below the zone, and it's only going to tell you to buy if it's above the zone. So in a sense, it may seem like we're buying from the high and selling from the low, but that's how important the zone is. This zone is very important. So once you're buying it, you don't want to buy it at the, I mean, right here, it looks like it's buying it from the high, right? But if we get a retest of the zone, this is on a higher time frame, it's a 3 minute. So it's telling us to buy up here, which may look like buying it from the high, right? But instead of buying it from up here, we can wait for it to come back to at least here to the top of the zone and buy it from a lower price. Because it may never come down here so we can buy it from the low. So ultimately, our only other option would be to buy it from back from the zone. So it came back into the zone, it's going right back into profit right now. It just respected the zone on the lower time frame, is going right back into profit. Hold on, let me see if I can get this trend line in there real quick. Got a little bit of price, a little bit of structure here. So it already came into the zone, just like it did here, respected the low, the previous low. And now it's breaking above the zone. On the lower time frame, that went back into another entry for another 5 pips. Came right back into the zone. This is the first one here, somewhere back here. The first one, 5 pips. Came back to the zone again. Now, being that it's inside the zone, this is nothing but a wick. On a higher time frame, these are wicks, right? But if you go on a lower time frame, you can see it was in the zone for a little bit, broke back out the zone, retesting the zone, retesting the zone. As long as it stays above the zone, it has no other choice but to go up. So this may be our lowest point to buy it from because it already went up to at least up here. So we want to buy it naturally on a higher time frame. This is our entry. On the lower time frame, though, our entry is right at the zone, at the top of the zone. So being that it already broke above the zone and it gave us a move to the upside, this is nothing but a retracement. Even though it is considered buying from the top of the zone, it's at least at a lower price point than it is on a higher time frame. Because if we want to wait for it to break the ultimate high, we can buy from up here. Not saying that this would be a wrong trade. It's a conservative trade. If you want to buy conservatively, you may still be in the clear and get your 10 pips because ultimately the tool is very powerful. It'll give you a buy. If it's telling you to buy, it might pull back a little bit, but ultimately 70 to 60, 70, 80% of the time, the buy is going to be valid for at least 20 pips, right? So right now, Euro JPY is still brushing the bottom of the zone. It hasn't showed us that it wants to go back below it yet. So if that's the case, we're looking for buy opportunities because that's what it told us to do. It told us that we're looking for buys on a minute chart. 5-minute chart, everything is telling us to buy. What do we want to buy? From the lowest point possible. Is it going to reach all the way down here? It may never reach the lower the zone. So we got our points of interest. We got here, we got here, we got here, we got here. Here's all of our points of interest from previous that we were using. Well, actually, need to change those. Those was resistance. Let's change those to support now. Support, support, support. Let's put one more for this little area here. If I can find a good one. Okay. Back into the zone. Let's go into the lower time frame. If we can get another entry out of the zone, because it just keep pulling back to everybody's late to the station. Everybody got their bus tickets and train tickets, but they late. The conductor is trying to wait for everybody to get on board. So it keeps giving opportunities after opportunities after opportunities before it wants to make its move. So as long as it stays, as long as it don't go below the zone, we still looking for buys because it already told us to buy and gave us at least 10 pips. So as long as it doesn't go above the zone and close below the zone, ultimately we want to buy from here, 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 or at least when it breaks back above the zone. So we're going to watch Euro JPY to see if it can give us another entry. Put 2 potential ones on Euro JPY. Let's go back up the chat. All right, let's do a brief scan real quick to see where we at. Everything's still in the zone. Looks like, yeah, all of the JPY pairs is pulling back into the zone, which is a good thing. Because if you miss the trade the first couple times, at least it's back into the zone. It may give you another entry for the third time. So we're gonna see. Let's go to Euro USD, Euro CAD. We're gonna do a brief scan. It looks like everything is in the zone. Like that. Let's see if why. See how far GJ want to come. See how far I want to come. See how far it wants to come.
Aaron, do you teach market structure too?
I do.
Okay. Is it in your sessions? In these sessions?
We'll go through them briefly throughout the sessions. Mainly the sessions is during the trades, because we're kind of bouncing back and forth. I could be all over the place, being that we're still looking for setup. So we do want to try to catch some trades live. So during the scanning and everything like that, I may go into how to utilize the tools. First and foremost, we're going to basically go throughout the tools and how to utilize the tools. But in between both of those, we'll do some market structure. I can get into institutional trading, how to utilize order blocks, how to utilize trend channels, things of that nature. So yes, throughout the sessions, we will definitely go to. It might not be full-fledged all market structure, but we'll definitely pinpoint and kind of briefly go over some of that stuff, because that stuff is very important as well. Market structure is very important to add. So yes, we'll definitely add that on later sessions. Yes, indeed, Jay. Patience is key. Patience is key. I had to learn that the hard way, man. I used to try to force myself in the market, thinking that I knew the setup was there. I seen the setup and I just jumped in, not understanding that you have to wait. You have to be patient. It takes discipline. And that's why it's always good to have certain tools, certain strategies. That way, you just allow the market to tell you where it wants to go. And once it gives you a clear indication of what it wants to do, well, okay, it's telling me it wants to buy. I already seen the trap. It's already respecting market structure. It conservatively broke my trend channel. I can safely get into a buy, right? It already told me to buy. It's in buyer's territory. It's trapping buyers but it's telling me it's going into buyer's territory. Everybody started buying all the way up here, right? Instead of down here. This is the low, breaker structure. That's the low. Without the tool, that would be to buy somewhere down here, because you're buying from the low. So when they start buying at the high, they're seeing it. They're getting in late. We got in early because we got in at the beginning of the candle. We got our 10 pips anyway, but a lot of people started buying up here, got caught in the trap, right? We already see the buy. We already know it's wanting to go into buyer's territory. It's not below the zone. It's above the zone. So we just got to be patient to see and wait for it to give us a clear indication that it's ready to start buying again. Right now, we're in a brief pullback. How far is the pullback going to go? We don't know. But if it respects our zones and ultimately never goes below the zone, I would hope for it to pull back somewhere near here, or maybe even back down to previous low. I would buy it somewhere in this area. Stop losses, minimal, 5-10 pips at the most. Yes, of course. Once you understand how to utilize this tool, especially if you're on a funded account, just like as we was doing with Euro JPY, you could have caught your little 5 pips here, 5 pips there, 5 pips there, 10 pips here, leave one running. Hopefully, ultimately, you catch 100 pips. And you can be done for the week trading just Euro JPY. So if you have a favorite pair and you're already pretty good at trading that favorite pair, you can turn the lights on onto your favorite pair and catch the optimal entries and trade just GJ if you want to. Some people, when they get tuned into the golden key, they're going to love it. You can trade just gold and make a killing trading just gold with the golden key. So yes, if you and that runs that's where the discipline will come into play. Instead of me, I got like 5-6 screens all around, and I might miss a few moves because I'm trying to catch all of the trades. Right now during the live sessions, I don't want to miss any trades. I want you guys to see it in real time. But it might be a little unhealthy for a beginner trader to try to trade all pairs. You see all pairs is on the hit list. It's not healthy to do that, right? You want to focus on 2 or 3 pairs at the most, so you can understand what's going on in the markets. You can see what it's doing. You can see you. That's like being in a room with 10 people and 10 people talking at the same time, and you trying to hear everybody's conversation. It don't work like that unless you're a genius and you got great ears. But the same thing with the markets. You don't know what's going on if you got 10 different trades going in and you watching all of them, and then one's breaking, but the other one's still consolidating, and then you trying to tune into and focus in on the one that's breaking, and while you focusing on that one, another one start breaking and you miss the entry because you're trading too many pairs at one time. I'm talking to y'all and myself because I tend to trade too many pairs at one time. Definitely, Rinkos definitely eliminate the noise. And Rinkos definitely eliminates noise. Shout out to Mr. Champion. I love her last name. Champions. We all gonna be chanting here. Shout out to Mr. Champion for being here with us. But yeah, definitely them Rinkos, man. If you're not familiar with Rinkos, look into them. I suggest studying them. It'll give you a different eye on the market. It will take away all of the noise. It'll take away all of the noise. Rinkos takes away the noise. Look at this. Straight up trend. You don't see no pullbacks. You don't see no red candles, no consolidation, no nothing. You know it's straight into buyer's territory. Yes, the Rinkos. Look at the Rinkos. I might, matter of fact, ooh, you might have put me on to something. This Champion, you might have put me on to something. We'll get back to that, but definitely we might get back to that in a later session. But if you're not familiar with it, just take your eye. There's a lot of things that you can do to the market that you may make it easier for you, because I know sometimes them candles, even the Hakanashi candles, might be a little bit easier on the eyes. Oh. But you don't want to confuse yourself. They give you a buy. GJ, we back in action, baby. There's your buy on GJ. We back in action. So now here, just case scenario, minute chart is buying out the zone. The buy entry is up here. You can buy from the high if you want to, right? Or you can buy from the lowest price possible. That's where your manual decisions will come into play. Where's the conservative traders at? They're trading if it breaks the highs. Nothing wrong with that. Be conservative. You don't want to put yourself in a trap, right? Another conservative way to catching it at the low is trend channels. You notice it was doing a brief trend channel to the downside. You put your little trend line, it's breaking your trend line, getting the market. Got back in at the entry. Up 7 pips. Well, it went up about 7 pips already. If it gets back to the entry, you're done. So the ones that are waiting for it to activate their buy stops, now again, nothing wrong with that. This thing can run 50 pips. We don't know. But the ones that are waiting, if you get it in down here, by the time they're in the markets, you're done. 14 pips on GJ. Nice. Nice. Shout out to Jay. 14 pips on GJ. That was an easy move right there. We didn't catch it live. I saw it, right? We saw it. Definitely saw this one. GJ definitely saw that one. Let's go back to, I was trading on regular candles the entire time. I might go back to, I just like price action, man. That's why I keep the regular candles up there. I like price action. Love it, love it. So far, so good. Let's see what UJ doing. Now here, I don't know who that was that chimed in. Here goes one of those cases, even though we're buying, right? We're buying, put your little 10 pips. Here's that potential low risk, high reward sell from the top of the zone. That's if we're anticipating it to break this low to get back down to here. If it breaks this low, we're already 10 pips and we're going to get to 10 pips if it breaks this low. This is a higher risk trade, might be going against the actual signal itself, but these are one of those trades will give you a higher risk to low reward. Now, if we miss and it does go break back above it's still following the signal. We can get back into the buy. And if we lose 5 pips, we can get the 5 pips back on the break. But this is just hypothetically. Those are the type of setups if you wanted to go against the grain, that is the only way to do it. Only option that we would do it at is if it is at the top of the zone. If you want to sell, I would much rather sell it up here than to wait for it to break all the way down here and to start selling at the low. We'd rather sell at the high. Now, being that it's already given us an indication to buy, we're going against the market, right? So I'm not saying sell UJ right now. I just wanted to point that out from the one that chimed in earlier about selling it from the high. So this is one of those case scenarios where you have to make the decision. Do you want to wait for the break of the buy and catch the buy? You're already telling us to buy. It already went by its territory, so you can just be conservative and wait for it to break above the zone and start buying it again. Or you could be a slickster like I am and try to catch the ultimate entries of the sale from the top of the zone. And if it's from the top of the zone, it can be short-lived, give you 5-10 pips and get up out of it. Let's keep scanning. Let's see what else we got. Let's see if we got some action somewhere. I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. Hold on, what was that? I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. There go that Euro NZD. I don't know what I was looking at on that. That zone was there for a reason. I don't know why. Don't know. Oh, okay. Bottom of the zone. 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 It bought. Look where it's at. Look where it came back to. I drew. If y'all remember, I drew the zone because of all of this. All of this action is why I drew the zone. That's why zones are important. That's why it's a great thing to have the session key tool and the golden key tool, because it's going to draw out important areas of the market. But sometimes you got to go in there and do it yourself sometimes. But look, it stopped. I mean, to the pip, it stopped. It bounced. If it was a higher time frame, this bounce would have gave us 10 pips. Let's keep scanning. See what else we got. JPY don't want to make up its mind. Don't want to make up its mind. Trend line was broken already. So we got consolidation. You got your highest high, your low low. It's consolidating right at the top. Where is it consolidating at though? It's consolidating, going sideways. Where is it consolidating at though? The top of the zone. The top of the zone. So once it makes its move, it's going to tell you where it wants to go. Hopefully, being that it's at the top of the zone, when it finally makes its decision, it will start going higher, and you will get your entry from the zone, top of the zone. If it shows you wants to go lower, it's definitely going to start breaking this consolidation. And as you guys can see, I've been on the lower time frames. I forgot to even do the top down analysis. I haven't even seen what. Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. So it's always good to glance at your higher time frame so you understand where you're at in the market. This may be a great sale. If it doesn't want to buy, and if it starts to break below this zone, oh, this is going to be a great sale. It's going to be a great sale. But conservatively, we got to wait for it to break below the zone. Now, notice it told us to sell early. It just didn't close below the zone. So I didn't take effect. I didn't take it too much notice to that sale. But it's already told us to sell. We briefly broke above the zone. Did we hit our stop loss? No, we did not. So on a higher time frame, longer term, I would anticipate a sale. And being that if you're anticipating a sale, Euro JPY is at the top of the zone. This may be for a longer term trade, for a higher reward trade, I would take a sale on EJ. That's me though. Short term, if you're going back to the 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 second chart, I'm looking for the buy for my quick 10 pips. Regardless of what it does in the next 10, 20, 30, 48 hours, I know I can, if it's above the zone on the lower time frame, I can get my 10 pips. So that's all about depending on the trader. There's always going to be two sides. You're always going to have your longer term analysis. And when you start using these tools on the shorter term, notice it's breaking back above. If I was to take this trade on this buy, I would take it right above the zone. My stop loss is this previous low, which means my stop loss would be 8 pips. I would then round it out to just 10 pips. Or if I'm already anticipating the sale, if I want to catch this buy out the zone, I can catch the buy out the zone and use this low as my stop loss. So as long as it don't go below that low, as long as it gives me my 10 pips, I'm done, right? So if I catch this sale from there, my stop loss is now 5 pips. I'm not the sell, I'm sorry. If I wanted to catch this buy above the zone, my stop loss would be 5 pips. Right now, longer term, I would look for the sell from the high of the zone, and then just utilize previous highs as your stop loss, which is 10 pips. Just judging off of what I just seen on the higher time frames, that sell looks juicy. I like that sell. If it wants to sell, right? If it wants to sell. Did it tell us to sell? It sure did. But it never broke below our zone. So conservatively, if I want to see the sell break below the zone first, like here, the sell broke below the zone first, and then pulled back, and then lower lows, and then pulled back and went 200 something pips. It hasn't broken below the zone first. So if I'm selling, I'm trying to sell it at a high, anticipating it breaking below the zone. But what if it don't break below the zone? We might be wrong. It might go above the zone and come back to this area and give us 100 pips to the upside. We don't know, right? So that's where you will have to make the wise decision on which trade are you looking for. Are you looking for the sell? If you're looking for the sell, where do we sell from again? The high of the zone. We're looking for the buy. Ultimately, where do we want to buy from? Respectable areas. If I'm buying, I don't even want it to come back into the zone, honestly. Like me, myself, because this is like sweat area. Because I could be buying. If I'm buying and this is my entry, if it's back in the zone, that means I'm in the negative. I'm in drawdown. I don't want to see red. I want to see all blues at all times, whether it's 3 pips, 5 pips, 10 pips, 100 pips. If I want to buy, I want to see it go outside the zone, right? And go ahead, you can retest it all you want. You can come back and retest the zone and buy again, right? So ultimately, if I'm buying, I want it to shoot. Does it happen like that all the time? Of course not. Like just as of now, we put a buy. If you put this entry in the 1 minute, you're in drawdown right now. But if I want to sell, this would be where we would sell it from, the top of the zone. And then I would sell it from the top and you can either use this previous high or ultimately the previous high, which is at the stop loss anyway, which is up here, which is 10 pips. To me, the more juicier trade long term would be the sell. I would sell this, right? Because if I'm risking 10 pips, to ultimately, if we sell it from way up here and I can get to take profit 1 is 30 pips. Take profit 2 is 65 pips. Take profit 3 is about 90 pips. If I can get it all the way back down to the low, or at least back to the entry, I know I got my 10. I like that EJ setup though. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty good for the sell. I mean, it's going in the downtrend. It is a downtrend. So why not look for sales? If we're gonna sell, we'll sell from the high. I'm not gonna hold you guys up too much longer. We're gonna do one more quick scan, and as we're doing that, that seller's going straight to profit. If we had sold it from the top of that zone, we had already caught our 10 pips. It's 10 pips right there. Now, look where it's at. Previous low. It has to break this. If it wants to go lower to get to start selling, it has to start breaking these levels first. If it wants to go down here, go below the low to tell us to sell or to give us a clear indication of the sale, you got to break these levels first. If it don't break these levels and it starts going back up, then you know you can scalp the buy outside the zone and get the 10 pips that way. Let's do a brief scan, see where we at, see what we got. See what we got. I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. You go that bounce off that zone. Not gonna hold you guys too much longer, maybe another 15 minutes or so. We'll open the floor. We will open the floor for questions. And hopefully we can get another setup or potential setup that I can leave you guys with. Market going sideways for now. It's cool, it's cool. See if we can find one though. Look, GJ looking like on a higher time frame. GJ is similar. Only thing with GJ, it got a lot of room to go up if it does want to break that buy. It got a lot of room to go if it wants to break that buy. Let's see. See how far it comes down. Already told us to buy. Broke structure here. Now we just create a new structure. There. So as long as it respects these levels, and then it goes back above, I would look for the buy on GJ. It's kind of odd. I'm looking for the sell on EJ. But I look for the buy. So that's the thing too. GBP/NZD is going to the top of the zone. It's about to retest. Naturally, if you see a setup and the setup just don't, I would buy this right here. If it closes above the zone, I would definitely buy that. If you see the setup and it doesn't look good, don't trade it. Like, it's plenty of different trades, like the EJ sale. I might have been like, I'm not quite sure. UJ, I'm like, oh, this looks more clearer. Even though it's still a Japanese cross, you might need to pair it up with another asset to see a better picture. So you might not, it might look, because GJ, EJ, UJ, they all looking the same, but one might look a little bit clearer than the other, right? So if you're looking at a pair, if you're looking at a setup and it doesn't look clear to you, that's an excellent buy, straight to profit. If it's looking good to you, then you have more confidence to take the trade. If you're not sure about it, don't force it. There's no sense of forcing. Even if you going through all the setups and you can't find nothing. Okay, GBP AUD is buying everything on the GJ. Hold on, let's pull this up. This GJ is going to go into profit. I'm almost sure that one. GA is breaking. We might be able to lead with this one. Here we go. It went straight into profit. We missed the entry though, but look where it's at. That's where the patience is a virtue. Look, it told us to buy here. Patience, young grasshoppers. Patience. 10 pips. Easy. A lot of the times, it'll tell you, some of the times, not a lot of the times, but some of the times it'll tell you to buy 10 pips. Like GJ, it said buy straight to 10 pips, right? But sometimes it'll tell you to buy, it'll linger. It's Asian session. Ain't nobody really trading like that but us with the session key. Yeah. But us, ain't nobody trading at 6 o'clock p.m. unless the ones that just don't have no other time to trade, right? A lot of people waiting for that New York bell. They're waiting for the London session. That's why a lot of the times during this time market, you'll find yourself in the trap. It's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down, in the profit, out of profit. It's consolidating because it's the slowest period. But with this session key, it'll definitely tell you which side of the trade to be on. So this is buy an hour ago. There's your 10 pips. Easy 10 pips. There's another buy on GBP/NZD. It told us to buy early. It's telling us to buy before it even got out the zone. Shout out to the tool, man. The tool must have a little bit of AI capabilities or something, because it does this often. I didn't catch it at first, but sometimes it'll even tell you to buy before it's time to buy, and it'd be right. This is another trade, GBP/NZD. You can catch a buy for 10 pips. So we got GA, already gave it 10 pips. GJ gave us 10 pips. I believe EJ gave us a couple possible trade opportunities. Let's look at what UJ is doing. Ooh, that's nasty. That's nasty. What do you want to buy from? Here goes one of those optimal entries that might be setting up. What do we want to buy from? Down here. If this thing can come down here and respect this level, oh, that's a 5 pip stop loss. Are we going to be correct 100% of the time? Of course not. But it's 5 pips. Who cares? I will risk 5 pips if I know I can catch 50. That's a 1 to 10 ratio. Especially if I can catch the 50 pips from the bottom of the zone, it might break the zone and go 50 pips. I caught it down here. Everybody else that took the signal, they still caught their 50 pips. If you caught it from down here, though, you done already started closing profits. Partial profits, moving up your stop loss. You're in the clear. If you can catch it from the optimal entry, everybody waiting for the train to reach the station. You already on the train, sleep, and got your drink. You done got your feet kicked up and everything because you already in the trade. Everybody up here is waiting for the train to leave the station. The entry is way up here. What do we want to buy from? Right now. I'd have bought it. I'll buy it right now. Hold on, let's go on a lower time frame. See if we can get to the T. We're gonna leave after this trade, y'all. I ain't gonna hold y'all too much. But I wanted to see if we can catch one of them optimal entries live. Once it breaks that trend line, if it stays in the zone and it don't go below the zone and it breaks above this white line, I'm in there, baby. In there like swimwear with them sharks and piranhas. As long as we got our life vests, our snorkels, our flippers, respect the zone. We got to make sure it got to respect the zone. It can't come out the zone. If it respects the zone and breaks the trend, that's the buy from the buy. On the 5-second chart. Let's go back to the minute. It might get a little dangerous on that 5 second, but on the minute chart, it'll definitely buy Euro AUD. Yeah, man, that might be a great buy for you guys. Ultimately, this is the low, right? It might even try to fake us out, right? And just retest there, ultimately. But for now, we're going to utilize the zone. You might use this as your stop loss, right? So if I did buy from here, my stop loss is at the previous low. That is 10 pips. So if I take this trade, 10 pip trade, 10 pips, I use a standard lot size of 10, which is $100 a pip. All I need is 10 pips to get to my $1,000. Now, if it goes back up to the top of the zone, if I catch it from where it's at, back to the top of the zone, that's 15 pips. That's $1,500, right? So that's optimal, potential optimal entry setup for you, Jay. What was that just came through? Was it Euro AUD? I'm sorry, you guys. I wasn't even paying attention. But we're gonna come back to UJ. We're gonna come back to UJ. That's the setup right there. It's already breaking the trend channel. We're gonna come back to that. I believe it is. Ooh, look at that buy, man. Straight to take profit one, no pullback whatsoever. No pullback. That's what I'm saying. These zones, even though you buy from the high of the zone, this zone is very important, though. You can buy from the high of this zone, right? Straight to profit. 25 pips. From the entry, that's 10, 15 pips, 20 pips, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, 10 pips. 5 minutes, you're done. 5 minutes, you're done. So if you took this entry and you utilize the signal, stop loss is 40 pips. Stop loss is 40 pips. And you took this trade. The standard lot size is $25 a pip. And you caught 20 pips. $25 times 20 is $500. You make $500 in 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You halfway to your daily goal. 5 minutes. Might have took a while. You might have been waiting for a minute, but when you fired that baby off, 5 minutes, you're done. 5 minutes, you're done. $500. All you need is 2 of those. GBP/NZD is bouncing from the high. Let's go back to UJ, see what UJ doing. I'm not gonna hold you guys too much longer. If you got any questions, feel free to answer in the chat. They go that bounce, man. I'm telling y'all think we're gonna be playing on these sessions. We're gonna be catching these bad boys instantly in the profit. I don't want to hold you guys long in these trades. I ain't trying to be in trades in no 2-3 hours sweating bullets. I'm trying to get into them. As soon as we get in, a couple minutes, we already in the profit. 10, 20 minutes, we done at the most. Just saw the previous trade only took 5 minutes. Buy Euro NZD, sell GJ. Why are we selling GJ? Was we selling GJ? Oh, we damn sure is. We was looking for the buy ultimately at first. Look where we at now. The buy gave you the 10 pips. Don't get it twisted. The buy did give you 10. Look at the sell, right? Hold on. think we were looking overall to sell GJ. Was it overall to sell GJ and to buy EJ? I don't know. I can't remember. That sell valid though. Now that I see it, that sell is definitely valid on EJ. We can pull back. I mean, sorry, GJ. Take profit 3. Is that take profit? Take profit 2 is what the order, first order block is. Order of resistance. Right in. Go back to the lower time frames. Now notice this GJ traded respected market structure. We was looking for the retracement. We was looking for the break of the market structure to get into the trade in case we did not get in the first time. And it respected market structure the entire time. Respected, and hauled. It's sold. So now that we're in seller's territory, we're looking for a sell on GJ. Being that we're on lower time frames, you can get the whipsaw, and some of these trades will be short-lived. You'll be buying for the first couple of hours, catch your 10, 20 pips here and there, and then you turn around 2 hours later, you selling. And then you look at your history, like, man, I done caught 50 pips, 3 different times, 20 pips, 2 different times on GJ for the buy, and I got 3 more trades for the sell, and they all was in profit. Hopefully that's what your results would be, right? We're gonna manifest all wins, baby. But now look, we got to pull back into the zone. So if we want to, let's get rid of these lines. Few guys. So now that we got the sell, that is a huge sell candle. We get a pullback. We want to see where is it going to pull back to. Hopefully we got our points of interest set up. We got a low here. Didn't give us much, so that's really all we got for real. Go further left. Got that one already. Let's mark up this one here. So as long as it stays below our points of interest and ultimately stays below this big old candle that started the move. So we got 4 points of interest. You got your previous lows here, and then ultimately the high. So as long as it stays below that, we're in the clear to sell. What would you sell? Here's your entry. I would sell out the zone, honestly. But your entry ain't that far. So if you want to be conservative, you just wait for it to break the entry and you can sell from there. Let's go back to UJ, see what UJ doing. UJ gave us our 10 pips. I can tell you that much. It gave us our 10 pips, almost 8 pips. Bottom of the zone. Fresh break. Could have been done. Could have been done on that UJ trade. Nice little bounce. That was an easy one. All right, you guys, if you don't have any other questions, let me know. Let me know. Speak now, forever hold your peace, or at least hold it until tomorrow. Until tomorrow, same time, same place. For you guys that held on, you guys are the real MVPs. For those that wasn't able to make it, you're still an MIP in my book. You're still important. Make sure you catch the session next time. Well, same time, same place, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. We will send the links out maybe 15 minutes before. Hopefully you guys were able to learn something today. Hopefully you guys saw the power in the perfect entry trading system and the session key tool. Hopefully you guys will enjoy our sessions. I may have a couple of special guests on this here and there. Bring some of my Prit Bowls on us with us just to help out scan these charts while we're going over some setups. We gotta make sure that we ain't missing none of these trades, because we could have potentially caught a couple more trades than we did. But I just can't keep my eyes on everything. That's why I want to teach you guys how to use it. So if we up here, we can be helping each other. Somebody might have saw a setup, and if they understand the tool, they're like, hey, A1, real quick, you might want to pull up GBP and ZDs at the top of the zone. I'm like, all right, shout out for that. Thank you for that. And then we can pull it up and all make money together. So the goal is to make sure that you guys are able to utilize the tools. If you don't have the tool, you have to get inside the community, baby. Got to get inside of the community. So not only will you get access to the golden key tool, that's for gold and silver and platinum, US 30, all your indices. The golden key tool actually can be a safe haven, and you can use it for Forex as well. We're going to get into that next week. You're also going to get access to the session key tool, which is what we went over today for all Forex pairs. Some guys may be brand new. They might not gotten to the point. Ooh, what is that? AUDJPY. Must be news going on. Can somebody check and see if some news going on for the fundamental traders out there? Look at that sell. Look what it's doing. This might be a good one. Look at the sell out the zone. Look what it's doing. If we can get a retest of the zone, if it doesn't go inside the zone, this might be another good sell. Another good sell. AUDJPY. So GJ is falling. AJ is falling. What's CAD JPY doing? CAD JPY is starting to fall. NZD JPY starting to fall. Pay attention. Excuse me, guys. Hold on. You guys pay attention to these JPY crosses. Made a major move. It tried to fake us out. That's what they think they slid. They think they slid. It's okay. It's okay. It's all right, though. We caught our 10 pips on a couple of them buys, right? We even caught the bounce on the UJ. This UJ might even follow up and do the same thing. But we did get near our 10 pips. So even if it gets to 5 pips, take your 5 pips, or at least put your stop loss in your entry. That way you don't lose no money. But a lot of these JPY pairs, just like they did yesterday, we might be selling, baby. We might be selling. So y'all pay attention to those. GBP AUD is a great trade for the buy. I think we saw that one. We pulled that one. It didn't give us the bounce though, but that was a great buy. That was a great buy. Straight to 40 pips profit. That's one of those trades. You just didn't need an entry. You want to get an entry. Sometimes it might not come back to the zone. This is when you utilize your technicals. And if it wants to break your trend channel, you know you're back in the buy territory. So this is another buy, potentially to the upside. So if you was to buy, if you're buying at a higher point from the zone, instead of buying from the immediate zone or the low zone as well, or that's where you have to find your stop loss. You don't want to use your stop loss down here because now your stop loss is about 50, 60 pips. So if you're buying here from this break of structure, I will put my stop loss below previous low, which is here. So now you lower your risk a little bit. Your stop loss is now about 25 pips. Or you can put your stop loss. If this thing takes off and it never comes back to the zone like it did here, it didn't come back to the zone. If it starts breaking again, it didn't even come back to the zone. My stop loss can be right below the top of the zone, hypothetically, right? So now that lowers the risk even more. If I took this buy, my stop loss is now 15 pips instead of 25. So that's how you will have to manually adjust as you move forward, but you'll learn how to do that. More and more sessions you are on, the more and more you back test, getting access to the community, you will be able to adjust as the markets move forward. That is a excellent buy that we would have missed, being that we didn't see it initially. But look at that entry. Look at the buy, straight to profit, 40 pips. Let's see, what else we got? AUDJPY is already a take profit 1. GBP AUD, this is what it looks like on a 3-minute chart. It looks even better, man. It looks even better. Look at that retest. Retesting the what? Top of the zone, GBP AUD. So you guys look out for GBP AUD to buy, and look out for the JPY crosses if it breaks that zone. If you don't have the zone, I can just tell you right now, if it goes any lower than where it's at, and then hopefully you'll end up getting the tool to make it much easier. But if you guys don't have any further questions, look at this buy. Immediately, it's profit. If you guys don't have any further questions, man, we're gonna end this Zoom. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording. The recording will be up by tomorrow. So if you wanna go back over some things, it will be available for you guys by tomorrow morning. See you guys in the chat. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. Happy pipping, baby.